what is symbol? Anyone? What is symbol?
सर कोई किसी भी चीज़ को अलामत बना लेना जिसके ज़रिए किसी दूसरी चीज़ को बयान किया जाए. Action to do something.
Action, किसी चीज़ को अलामत बना के जिसकी बेस पे यू
किसी दूसरी चीज़ को ज़ाहिर करना, उस असल चीज़
किसी दूसरी चीज़ को ज़ाहिर. Okay. Read symbolic studies book for this. I would just make a sample. Symbol, gestures, signs, signals. These are different things. Symbols, gestures, signs, signals. Like, I make my signature on a document. Once I join an organization, so I put my signature on the joining report, and that signature is then representing me throughout my career there. Now, any letter it is signed by me, not even my name is there. Somebody can see this has signature. So now that is not me, but that is representing me. So symbol is, I'm just connected here with symbol. Symbol is anything to which we attach meaning, and then we use that to communicate message. Anything that can be like this, that can be gesture, that can be some flower, that can be food, that can be car, that can be anything. Anything to which we mean the community or the collectivity, that attach meaning, and then using that to communicate message is called symbol. Now there's a difference between symbols, gestures, signs, and signals. It's a detailed discussion. If somebody was interested, you may talk to me independently. Sign is what I explained prior to it. That was my agreement with the small organization. Signal is like the red, blue, yellow, green, now that we have on the roads, or that can be the eye contact like the gestures. So these are overlapping concepts, but when we go into the nitty-gritty of it, we can have a distinction between these things. Like A is one symbol, B is one symbol, C is one symbol. All these alphabet are symbols. Now, a combination of symbols in a systematic way is called language. A combination of symbols in a systematic way is called language. For example, if I write it A, P, L, E, P, do you make any sense of it? Now, the same words that I put into A, P, P, L, E, so it's apple now. Now, a systematic arrangement of symbols. Somebody agree, or a group of people agreed that when we put A, P, P, L, E, so that would be for this particular fruit. So, apple, now this is comprehensible. People agreed on it. Like gestures. Now, this is OK sign where? There's OK sign where? America. America or Americans, when they say something is excellent or good, they make this gesture, okay. Now, an American anthropologist, he was in Italy. He was provided food in a hotel. When the waitress, she came and asked, how is the food? Now, he was not familiar with the Italian language, so he just made this symbol. After 30 minutes, he was arrested. He was arrested by the police. He was taken to the court, and he said, what's my fault? And he was told that you have abused the waitress. I haven't. When he was trial, he was told that you made this gesture and this is abuse, giving somebody, जिसको हम माँ की गालियाँ कहते हैं. This is how that was. Now, from there this debate started that symbols are not universal. Like something which is a symbol here that not maybe a symbol there. Like whenever we measure human height, हम कहें इतना सा बच्चा है या इतना सा बच्चा है या इतना सा है. Now one of the person from Turkey, he went to some European country and he was very upset for studies or some project. So he was asked by the host, why you are so sad? And he said, and he was not familiar, so he made this, and okay, what's wrong with that? I can give you as many plants as you want because this is the plant measurement in that European country. And he was measuring his child that I have left a small child back, so I'm unhappy for him. And they were saying, एक दरख्त को छोड़ के इतना परेशान हो रहे हैं, हम आपको बहुत सारे दरख्तें दे देंगे. So again it was something different. Now in Iran, it may be Iran or Turkey, I'm confused. Iran. What is the gestures of body here? For example, in Pakistan, when you make your head ups and down, this is called yes. When you move it, as no. Now in Iran, when somebody move his or her head left or right, there's yes, and when it is up and down, is no. Now if there's a couple who is going to get married, and you ask them at the time of nikah, that are you, and they make no. And somebody is from Pakistan and the other is from that country, the entire ceremony is going to be disturbed. So symbols are very important in our life, and this is how we make sense of our lives because of symbols. We will talk about symbols more in the symbolic interactionism. What is symbolic interactionism? For symbolic interactionist, society is a composition of symbols. If there were no symbols, there would be no life at all. There would be no social life at all. Now, think for a while. Symbol, what you are talking to me is symbols, is a combination of symbols. I'm talking to you as a combination of symbols. The argument of symbolic interactionist is that language is a combination of symbols, and there would be no social life if we, the human, were not able to develop symbols in language. For example, do we think that animals have language? Do animals have language? They have their own language. Okay, those who say animals or birds have language, and those who say no. Okay, think for a while. When I was born, I saw cow, cat, dog, goat, sheep, etc. The same way that they are today. They don't have any fashion. They don't go to school. They don't have birthday parties. They don't have marriages. Okay, let's think for a while. If we were not having language capacity, do you think I could have been here? You could have been here? That means that's the language kamal. This is the miracle of language, that we are here. Now, how we decide about colors, dresses, designs, goods and bads? Do they have mothers, fathers, daughters, sisters, or aunts, etc. concepts, the animals and birds? They don't have. Somebody who closely observed them, they don't have. These concepts, we develop them. And that's how the social life became possible. Now, we are living in a normative structures. Where from those norms and values comes? We collectively develop something as good, something as bad. They don't have this concept of good and bad. Do you eat somebody else's lunch? If not invited, if this is my lunch that I put here, you would not eat it. Why? Because it's not good. The lunch is good, but it's not good for you morally to eat it. But if an animal is here and if that animal is hungry, he or she doesn't make any distinction of lawful, unlawful, good or bad, or somebody else would eat it. So language was that capacity that made our social life possible. Animals on these grounds do not have language. Now there's a debate on that, do animals have language or they don't have language. Some people say, or some scholars say, they do have language, but this is very primitive. Primitive means it's not developed. It's a very basic way of communicating with each others, not beyond that, which is a natural instinct, not socially developed capacity. In dark, the voices that dog, cow, buffalo, that they're making it sense long. We change our voices. I'll be talking to you now in a very foreign language. I would be talking to somebody outside there in Urdu, and then I may be talking to somebody in Pashto, and maybe sometime 1, 2, 3 words of Arabic. Animals can't do that. So there's a human capacity. We made our social life possible because of language. So for symbolic interactionists, social life is possible because of symbols and language. Language is a composition of symbols. What is ethnomethodology? There are sociologists who believe that we have to understand any social phenomena like this class or society outside there through pre-decided theories in very objective approach. Okay. How many of you actually drive? Drive कौन करते हैं? And the rest may know about driving and the driving or the gears in car or in vehicle. They're first, second, third, fourth, fifth or reverse, and they're one in neutral. When you are on a signal, you take your car to the neutral position. It can't go forward or backward. It's neutral. So objectivity in social sciences mean neutrality, a complete state of neutrality. If I'm reading of phenomena, I'm researching of phenomena, I should keep my biases, liking, disliking aside, and I should be as neutral as possible. This is called objectivity. The opposite of it is subjectivity. Now remember, if you have really gone through the examinations, there are two kinds of questions, objective questions and subjective question. Like Pakistan came into being dash. When? Pakistan came into being 14 August 1947. If you write 15 August 1947, wrong. Now this is objective. You have to write exactly what is required. Now look into subjective. Why Pakistan was created? Everyone is having different opinion on it. Are you getting me? Now the previous research which came from sociology, major theorists like Durkheim, like Comte, like the rest of sociologists, Tarkat person particularly, they said we have to develop theories and we have to take those theories with us into the research field and we have to study social phenomena objectively. The researcher should not be involved in that. And we have to generate knowledge. Ethnomethodology as a reverse, challenging phenomena to that approach and said, no, we have to go for the subjectivity, what people think about their experiences. So ethnomethodology is basically a perspective in sociology that focuses on how people, mean we, make sense of our everyday social world. What is social world? Social world क्या है? It's in the slide, I would repeat it. Ethnomethodology as a perspective in sociology that focuses on how people make sense of their social world. Like when we go back into villages, हम जब गांव में जाते हैं, पिंड में जाते हैं, we say ये क्या हो रहा है, ये क्या stupidity है, what is this? We become angry and we become so antagonistic towards those things. We never try to understand that situation from the perspective of the people who are involved in that. If somebody, like we in cities, try to avoid guests as much possible as we can. कहते कौन ओटे रूटीन तबाह कर देना, वॉक के लिए जा सकते हैं ना, आप ये कर सकते हैं ना, वो कर सकते हैं. गांव में वो खुद ही इनवाइट करते, आ जाए, ओ तू आ जा, वो आ जाए, ये आ जाए, शुगल लगा होता है. एंड कहते ये क्या आपने मुसीबत, इतने खाने बना रहे हो, ये कर रहे हो, वो करते. दे एंजॉय इट. नाउ we blame them that this is something stupid, you are wasting the resources, putting yourself into troubles and all that, but we never try to understand that from the phenomena or the perspective that they have. So ethnomethodology was basically an approach to understand any social phenomena from the perspective of the people who are involved in it, and this is a very good research approach when it comes to gender studies or feminism. Okay. The small question, are all relationships have give and take? Now we agree on it, or we may disagree, but the social exchange theory said that all relationships are based on give and take. Does the balance of give and take exchange equal? No. Do you think that give and take is always equal? Why? An educated answer for this, कि why this is not equal? हो भी सकता है, possibility is there. Okay, we'll talk about it. It's not equal and there's a reason for that. How we decide, how we feel about a relationship. Parents, children, husband, wife, friends, teachers, students, everyone is having a feeling about that relationship. There are some children who are not comfortable with their parents. There are many parents who are not comfortable with their children. There are many couples who are not okay with each others. There are many friends who are good or who are bad with each others. So whenever there is a relationship, there is feeling in it. Now social exchange theories argue that your experience, bad or good, depends on the social circumstances that you have and the alternative that you have. The alternative that you have, for example, we go back into the previous examples that education is connected with divorce. Now somebody who is in the rural society, uneducated, for them deciding about it is a very difficult job. But somebody in the urban setup, educated, having a career, may just go ahead with this decision. Friends. Now somebody who is having just one friends, he or she may be very caring, क्योंकि एक ही है, वो भी खत्म हो जाए तो. Now somebody who is having another friend as well, कहते ये ना हो तो वो. That would be not that much caring about children. Parents who have one child and parents who have many children. Although parents are much concerned about all children, but psychologists say that parents who have just one child, they are more concerned with that child as compared to parents who have many children. उसमें automatically interactions में ignore कर देते हैं या बाकी चीज़ों में वो meet नहीं कर सकते. Although they don't want to discriminate, but that happens because of the numbers of the individual involved in that relationships. How we decide what is fair? Can we decide that what is fair? Like, you have a paper with me and 70% of you don't qualify that paper. All of you would say, it's not fair. Suppose I make this assumption that if you have a paper with me and 70 of you would not qualify that paper, when I get out and announce the result, everyone would say it's not fair. Now you decide the fair as per your understanding. I decide the fairness as per my understanding. Now this is how we the human have disagreements. For example, connecting with this, I have to ask a question. What's the difference between natural sciences and social sciences? What's the difference between natural sciences and social sciences?
Natural sciences like biology and chemistry, or social sciences in which we live society.
Natural science made by God and made by nature.
You are telling me the brains of natural sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, etc. And social sciences, sociology, psychology, anthropology.
Natural science made by God, made by nature, and social science is made by society and made by nature.
Objective, subjective. Okay, let me just give you one sentence that can qualify you in any interview if somebody asks you that question. Natural sciences unite us. Social sciences divide us. Natural sciences unite us. Social sciences divide us. For example, if there is going to be a painkiller tablet, chemistry from Pakistan, America, UK, Australia, all of them agree this is the formula of pain-killing medicine, cancer medicine. Sun, is it sun revolving or the earth revolving? Stars, moons, why rain happens, why snowfall happens. All natural scientists agree. So natural sciences unite us on any phenomena. Social sciences divide us. Why? Social sciences क्यों divide करते हैं हमें? Different cultures. Even in this small place, if I raise one question, and that would be, for example, should we have co-education at school level? Now this entire class will divide. Conflict of ideas. And why the conflict of ideas happen?
Because everybody perceives differently. एक बंदे की जो segregation है एक अलग
And how this happens? Go into the basic. Why that happens that we don't agree on? ये give and take की बात हो रही है. Give and take में इसलिए imbalance होते हैं.
सारे perspective होते हैं, culture भी involved होता है, personal experience, limitations होती हैं.
Humans, psychologists and philosophers, they say humans by nature are selfish. Human by nature are selfish. I would not do anything that is going against my interest. Whether that is interacting with you people, that is interacting with the family, that is interacting with the organization, I would not do anything that is going against my interest. And all human interests are not the same. Like in this class, you have a different interest, I have a different interest. You have to get a degree and I have to do what? You may be saying that I have to earn money. No. So then what's my interest? आपको एजुकेट करना चाहता हूँ. मैं तक गया हूँ वैसे लोगों को एजुकेट कर करके. Okay, there's a long way to go. I left the ministry with this. Zeal that there are too much corruptions around in the ministries, and I have to go to some nice places, academies, where you can change the mind of people and you can construct them the way you want. But the things that happens, that really very punching. Anyway, it's not a forum because the lecture is recorded. Okay, I have my interest. There's not earning money, that may be other interests. For example, to have the variety of students from different universities and interacting with them, what do they think about various, like I'm asking these questions that can constitute the part of my research. Like when I ask question, So far, I have asked 9 questions. In one case, a boy responded. In 7 cases, female responded. In one case, no one responded. Previously, research says that in a co-education classroom, men respond to the teacher questions more than the female. Now, this is going to develop a new thesis or theory that it may happen in an environment where it's very traditional, where women were not supposed to speak out. And here, I would make another argument that male may not be serious with the degree. I'm sorry to say it. They need a degree for their careers. Either they're already in career, or and the female, they were deprived of this opportunity, so they are more curious about it because it's more relevant to them, or they want to have a career on them. That may be the reason. Okay, this is how, if you go back into, now what I said, there's theory for everything. Now this conversational analysis, CA, one is ethnomethodology, another is CA, conversational analysis. There is DA, discourse analysis, and there is CDA. I'm not talking about the Islamabad CDA, I'm talking about the critical discourse analysis. If you go to the CA analysis, like one of my paper is also available on that. If you look into the school stories or the dramas or on television or the conversation inside the families, there are so many lessons in the textbook that I have analyzed. There are 24 conversations, 16 from father, 7 from the son, 2 from the daughter, and none or 1 from the mother. When she brings tea, the chai is ready. Now, this is how the conversational dominancy happens. And this is how symbolic interaction is talked about, that we have to focus on the micro level analysis of human social relationship. There's how ethnomethodology talk about that we should not go for the structural analysis, that how many male and female in Pakistan are doing jobs, how many male and female are in education system. We have to go for the micro level analysis, how this gender dominancy, how this class dominancy, how all these inequalities are any phenomena that is involving social interaction that have to be focused on the micro level, not at the macro level first. So this is how the conversational analysis can give you an answer for that.
Sir, let's say sociology में there are 2 types of interaction. I'm trying to understand this because you're talking about symbolic. तो दूसरा type क्या होता है interaction?
There are 2 kinds of interaction.
In sociology, basically, there are 2 types of interaction.
Would you tell me the types?
Sir, वही तो I'm asking.
Interactions can be defined on multiple grounds, like it can be positive interaction, negative interaction, competitive interactions, cooperative interactions. Like if I'm cooperating with you, it's an interaction, but it's cooperation. If I'm competing with you, it's interaction, but it's competition. If I'm fighting with you, that means it's an interaction, but it's a negative interaction. Interaction is simply one kind of interaction that whenever humans are involved with each other is called social interaction.